What's up, YouTube? Welcome to the Coffee Pod. My name is Chishi Zed.
Drink the coffee, it'll make you feel better.
Black couples have the highest divorce rates in the US this year. So this was a post that was shared by Spiritual Word that began with that headline. And it talked about how black couples had the highest divorce rate at 30.8%. Now, second came Latino couples at 18.5% and white couples at 15.1%. What really stood out to me about this specific post, because this isn't surprising news to a lot of people who already know about this statistic. These percentages are really sad to see. It is sad that black couples have the highest divorce rate. It's nothing to be proud of, and it's definitely worth talking about. What really stood out to me, apart from these stats, was the comments that were trying to avoid the reality of the situation when it comes to these high divorce rates. There were far too many people in the comment section who are trying to act like these stats aren't real. And it's important that we accept the truth for what it is, because then you realize the gravity of the situation. Because I believe that families help better children, right? If you want children, then you want to make sure that you give them the best possible situation for them to experience the best quality of life. You want to make sure that they're mentally, emotionally, and spiritually strong. And this begins with how that individual was raised up. Now, why do people read these type of posts and think to themselves, this isn't true. This is an agenda being pushed. It does not exist. For example, here's a comment that says, black people, don't let the world tell you about you. Remember, this was the same world that taught us we were part animal. I get the sentiment here. I understand where this person is trying to come from. But these statistics can be found on multiple websites, including websites that are black owned and publish the same information. And I think it's important that people realize just what a terrible state marriage is in and relationships are in. Because as much as people want to act like or deny that they want healthy relationships, they obviously care to a degree. Otherwise, people wouldn't be talking about it. These conversations wouldn't be popular. People don't talk about things they actually don't care about. It's either number one, you tried it, it didn't work out, and now you're in a space of, I don't know if it's for me. I don't know if I want to invest myself into somebody that much, or you're in a relationship right now and trying to figure it out, or you're happy and appreciate it and you wish other people could also experience it, or you've just decided that based on what you see around you, you're not willing to risk the chances of a marriage going wrong, a relationship going wrong, whatever it may be. So here's a caption that was shared by the Spiritual Word along with that post that I'm going to read for you guys real quick. It says, black adults have the highest divorce rate and the lowest marriage rate. Highest divorce rate and the lowest marriage rate. According to research, they also marry at later ages, 32 for men and 31 for women. Black women are the only group among other races with a number of divorces higher than the marriage rate. Again, black women are the only group among other races with a number of divorces higher than the marriage rate. In 2018, there were 31 divorces among the black population and 17.3 marriages per 1,000 people. And so that 31 divorces compared to the 17.3 marriages, which is, I wonder what 17.3, that's interesting, how they get like a 0.3 in calculating the amount of marriages. Anyways, per 1,000 people, right? 31 divorces and 17.3 marriages per 1,000 people is the example of the higher divorce rate compared to the rate that people are getting married. Goes on to say black adults also make up the largest share of the never married group. Notably, 79% of 25 to 29-year-old black women and 18% of 55-year-olds who never married as of 2016. Now, if anybody reads something like that, you're not going to feel encouraged, right? But I think on top of that, it should help people take marriage a lot more seriously. understanding the gravity of the situation. You would think that we wouldn't approach relationships so surface level the way we do now. In a generation where you have men who are obsessed with simply women's looks, thirsting over chicks on OnlyFans, Instagram models, etc. And you have women who don't see the value in a relationship if a man isn't paying all her bills. Let's check out some more comments here from other people and see what people have to say. Top comment says, better stop taking relationship advice from single women and women who can't keep a man. Mercy. Again, she says, better stop taking relationship advice from single women and women who can't keep a man. This is a tough one, man. That advice is so straightforward, but you've got a lot of chicks out here who forget even being single, because I would actually be open to listening to a woman who's been divorced and looks back and says, hey, I can tell you where I went wrong. I can tell you where I went right. I'm open to that. I'm like, okay, let me hear it. Or a divorced man who also can look back and can say the same thing. These chicks are out here writing down notes, taking advice from chicks who have never convinced a man to take them seriously for a long-term marriage. And to me, that's insane. Somebody responded back to her and says, exactly. And older women don't want to grow up and offer wisdom. This is true. This goes for the Ebony K's. This goes for the Vivica Foxes. And this goes for the Kendra G's. But I see, again, Kendra G seems like she would be in that never married. As far as I know, she's never been married. He goes on to say, how many 60-year-old women do you meet that talk just like the younger girls? Vivica Fox is who he's talking about right there for sure. Now we have a woman here who added on to the conversation. She said, couldn't have said it any better. So she agrees. She's like, stop taking advice from these single women. And she goes on to say, pour into our black men and they will pour back into you. Here's another comment from another man that says, and the lowest household income. So he's adding on to those stats. And we're worried about 50-50 instead of building a stable home as a unit like other folks with the face palm. So I actually think that for most women out here, they're not just running into guys who want to do strictly 50-50. No. They are running into guys who are open to doing 60-40 or 70-30. They want 90 to 100% of their bills paid. And we're just not set up in a type of economy where every man who can be a good potential suitor for you for a long-term relationship or marriage can actually do that. Here's somebody else who says, I won't allow this to discourage me. It is possible. Again, you won't allow this to discourage you. It should maybe not discourage you, but it should let you realize that the odds are against the success of the relationship working, and to not be delusional and to approach it with the mindset that you're going to see it through and not tap out because you feel like you've graduated from the marriage, right? Here's another man who says, that's the I'm not going 50-50 with no man group. Here's somebody else who says, social media is playing a big part in dividing black men and women these days. I don't think so. I don't agree with these days. This was inevitable. As technology increases, as the world becomes more civilized, women and men have been lied to. Men have been told that a woman is going to love you for you, and as long as you treat her like a princess, and it doesn't matter what you bring to the table as a man. Then you find out it absolutely matters. And it's not all about love. And women have been lied to and told, hey, you go be successful, you go be this empowered woman, and that will turn you into the ideal woman for everything, including relationships. And then they find out it actually hinders their options and minimizes their options. Here's another comment that says, has a lot to do with my brothers talking this 50-50-ish, lacking ambition and not getting help for traumas. Now, you guys know my stance. I'm not somebody who encourages men to go pursue a 50-50 relationship with a woman. 50-50 does not exist. Are there women out there who are okay with it? Very, very few. You'd be better off finding a woman who you can do 60-40 with. And I think just based on what men are willing to go without and sacrifice A lot of these households that are 50-50 on paper, when you actually get a spreadsheet and separate who's spending the most money, who's not buying the new thing, the new shoes, a man is more likely to go without. That's one way you can actually bring more to the bills, is by going without as a man and taking more of that provider role. The idea that there are a bunch of women out here who are going to go 50-50 with you obviously isn't true, because we see what it is. Now, that absolutely does not and cannot mean that every man who's married to a woman should pay for all the bills. We all know that the type of man who can afford to do that is very limited, which leads me to my final point. We are right on the road, right on track to seeing the largest demographic of marriageable single women that the world has ever seen here in the US. It's just a matter of time. I personally think this is not going to get better. It's actually going to get worse. And I don't think a lot of people are accepting things for what they really are. If you're taking this seriously and you're a woman, you're humbling yourself. You're understanding that the unicorn of a guy who's going to pay for everything does not exist. And if he does, he doesn't want you.
Drink the coffee, it'll make you feel better.
And if you've got him, hold on to him, because if you decide to leave for something better, it's not out here. And if you have a woman who's feminine, submissive, and willing to work with you, then you, my friend, are blessed, because it's not looking good out here. And it's not looking good out here for everybody. Listen, as always, I'm Krishna. What do you guys think? Leave your comments down below. I appreciate you for checking out yet another episode of The Coffee Pot. Till next time, I'm out. Peace.